Welcome in, y'all. I'm feeling a little better, so I figured I'd do another video because I just had to get this story, this confirmation off of my heart. As I, as I lay here, y'all, not knowing if I'm going to be admitted or not. Um, I don't know who all saw my last video. Mm, Even my jaw hurt, y'all. But anyway, mm, yeah, people trying to get in here. I see Miss Smith. Hey, R.N. Smith, 2003. I have some questions for you. I'm gonna have to inbox you those questions, though, Miss Smith. You are gonna die laughing. You're gonna die laughing when I tell you um, about this particular hospital. Anyway, come on in, come on in. I'm gonna talk about a plethora of things. It's 11:09. I don't have nothing but time. I don't know if they're admitting me, y'all. I think they're waiting on the room. I'm just praying I don't have to have surgery. I'm praying that I don't have to have surgery. That's my biggest thing right there. hmm So yeah, I want to tell you guys a story, something that happened to me today, and it was God showing me confirmation. My mother showing me confirmation that she still is around me. She's still with me, and I mean, what a profound way that God presented it to me. Let me give people a chance to get in. Okay, what girl? Um. Oh. Oh, yeah, my leg is killing me. I'm so tired of this boot and this boot suit boot and all of that. Mm. I didn't drink so much apple juice and cranberry. Come on in, people. Don't be scared. Yes, me. It's really me, the one and only CMA. You know, the black guy that happens to be gay. hmm Mm. Give y'all time. Yeah, shout out, y'all. Pray for my cousin, David Flores, and his family, his wife, his son, his sister, and brother. That in a loss, he passed away yesterday from a motorcycle accident. Mm. I don't know the whole story yet, but I just can't believe it. Mhm. Hey, Upward Onward, how you doing? How you doing, girlfriend? And then not only y'all did my cousin die the day before that. I don't know if y'all remember. I'm gonna have to go back and find the video of me cooking and my friend coming over to my house and him trying the food. He died, and I just saw him. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I didn't stop. I didn't stop. I didn't give him a hug or anything like I normally did. I was like, "Hey," because you know why? My foot and ankle and leg was bothering me so bad. that I said, hey, and I had this, I don't feel like being bothered look on my face. Not knowing that that would be the last time I would see him. Time before that, I saw him. He asked me, did I have a cigarette? And I gave him a cigarette. Mhm. Oh, yeah, I thought my toenail was coming off my foot. Oh, well, that would have scared the hell out of me. For a whole toenail to come up. Yes, so I am going through. Um, I won't be going to my cousin's funeral. I'll send my condolences. I'll watch it. He'll understand. Mm. I just can't believe he's gone though. Which makes me look at, it's, we always say every time somebody, oh, life is so short, life is so short. I look at life that way anyway. And it's not someone's death that will make me feel that way. I feel that way anyway. I can pick and choose who I speak to, who I want to be with. I pick and choose that. I will make amends with who I don't want to be upset with. Um, mm, oh yeah, I'm eating me a turkey. Anyway, so let me tell y'all what happened. So I'm at home. I've been having leg problems so bad. I still have not gained the muscle back in my leg. I guess until I work out. Ooh, they so damn loud. So anyway, I'm at home. I'm crying. But I was really feeling bad even when I was in the hospital the first time the year. And I wanted my mama. And I kept saying, wow, if my mom was here, she would call me. If my mom was here, she would do this. If my mom was here, she would. If my mom was here, she would just touch me, and I'd be. I want my mama's touch. I want her to touch my forehead, touch my neck. I want to lay my head in her lap. I want her to say it's gonna be all right. I want her to say you got this, or just her sitting. Like right now, I'm looking at a chair. If my mother was sitting in that chair right now, oh, it would be so wondrous. And I could just lay back and go to sleep. But she's not here. She's no longer here. So I had already been feeling that way. And I think this is the first time I've ever been sick like this and I have not had my mama to help me or to be there for me. And I look, God, I love you, yes, and I'm gonna make it through, but it still just ain't the same without my mama. And so I've been crying a lot more. I mean, crying uncontrollably, hurting, which all that crying was doing nothing but hurting, making me hurt worse. And people can go, oh, we get better. No, we stop all that. I'm just telling my story for me, you know, to go from talking to somebody every single day to just abruptly not. So I get here to this hospital and now they're running all these kind of tests. They're wondering why my foot's not going down, why it's not healing like it's supposed to, why I still can't walk on it. Or when I do, it's just so painful. So they do all the MRIs, CT. Now they're taking me to the vascular place where they put gel on it and it's making sure I don't have any blood clots in my legs because they just couldn't understand why is my legs hurting so bad like this. So I go up there. It's a lady. I think she was a stud, white lady. She was really abrupt and cold. She was abrupt and cold to me, and I wanted to let her have it. Oh, shit. So I have not been letting her have it. So I did not let her have it. And when she got through, I said, you know what? Thank you, ma'am. And she became a little nicer. I said, you know what? Just go around. I ain't cussing nobody out. Now all of us, you know what? They don't do all this talking. You got, but see, this ain't nothing but the devil. Every time I go live, it's, okay, shut up. Hey, Linda. Hey, Miss Smith, once again. Hey, when you gonna come up here? So anyway, y'all, listen. Let me tell you this. So I get now. I'm like, oh, I need my mama. I need my mama. So the transporter, he's pushing me down the hall. Now we get to the elevator. So, oh, thank you, Miss. Yes, two people. So listen to this, y'all. So he gets to the elevator. It's a white lady on it. The white lady was getting off, and it was the wrong floor. He said, "Oh no, you want to go to the ground floor?" So she got back on. I don't look at her. He slides me back. He knows her. He goes, "Hey, Michael Ann." Somebody, did y'all catch that? He says hi to the lady, and he says, "Hi, Michael Ann." Y'all know what? I thought my ears had deceived me. I said, "What did you call her?" And I turned and looked. I said, "What's your name?" Why was the white lady's name Michael Ann? And she showed me on her badge, but it was all one name. I just started crying. Oh, thank you, Jesus. If that was not confirmation, how in the world would I end up on an elevator just after saying, God, all that day, I need my mama? Would I be on an elevator with a white woman with the name Michael Lamb? And I told her, I said, ma'am, excuse me. I said, but my mama name is Michael Lamb. She said, how your mama spells it? And she leaned over and she hugged me. And when she hugged me, she said, independent thinker ain't the only white woman from the suburbs. That was my mama saying, I came back as a white woman. And I'm just, hey, Albert.
You got jokes, I see.
But how ironic was that this white woman with the name Michael Ann, and I had just all that day, the day before, I kept saying, Mama, Mama, I need you, Mama, Mama. Where you at, Mama? That's all I kept saying. Oh, thank you, Jesus. But I kept crying and saying, Mama, I need you.
Mm-hmm.
And to, I mean, I don't care what nobody say. If that is not confirmation for me, to what this white woman with the name Michael Ann, oh my God. The only difference, her name was Michael, Michael Mama didn't have an E at the end of hers.
Oh.
And Mama's was Michael Ann, first and middle. That was her whole name. But I boo-hoo. When that woman hugged me, she must have knew I needed that hug. And I almost felt like as if it was my mama hugging me. I know she said, why is this black man caressing me like this? But I was caressing her as a son to a mother. Anyway, so it's things like that that keeps me going. God knew I needed something. You might not even give your mama, but I'm gonna give you somebody with your mama name. And it's amazing how something that small, that minimal, can get you so far.
Did you
Hmm.
explore what your situation was?
Did I do what?
Did you tell her that your mom's name was the same?
Oh yeah, because she said, "Well, how did your mama spell her?" And oh, we went through all of that. And I hugged her again when she got off, and I was like, "Really, mama? You came back as a white woman?" And so, but my God, I needed that. It made everything else that goes on in my life, everything else, um, null and void. It also only confirmed that my mother was my one true best friend. Outside of anybody else, people can say they're your friend all day, they got you, and some will, but the one that I know for sure that I've never had to second guess, that I never had to look at sideways or side eye, was that was that famous word, but was my mother. And I thank God. I thank God. I miss that. I miss that. I miss that so much. But I thank God for the confirmation that, I almost want to say, what's your number? Can I just call you and call you Michael Ann? Would that seem a little stalkerish?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I know you lost your dad. Have you ever asked for any confirmation?
Um, no. In fact, his birthday was Saturday. And you know, I guess it's been several years now since 2012, and I'm kind of, I guess, to think about him and talk about him here and there, briefly, because if I talk about him too much, then I thought until recently, I thought I was at a place where I could talk about him and be okay. But yeah, it happened. I kind of got stuck somewhere talking about him and got all choked up and was totally humiliated because I thought I was in a different space and I wasn't. So I know how much I can handle. And so yeah, I don't go there, not publicly, because I'm not there yet.
Well, see, that's the one thing about me. I have come to terms with, I will always talk about my mama and I will always cry to the day I die. I don't, that's not even something I'm not even trying to go against that. That is just, it is what it is. Um, and I would be a fool to try to fight that because I already know. I don't have to talk about it. I can think about it. So that is not something that's even possible for me. Um,
But see, you
so
have to do what feels right for you. I'm not comfortable being that vulnerable in front of others. It depends on the subject matter. I'm not willing to uh share my vulnerability when it comes to my dad. I just, yeah, it's because of just so many factors to take into consideration, and I know that that is something, an area for me, which I salute you for the fact that you're able to talk about it. Yeah, you bubble up and then you're able to reel it back in. I wouldn't be able to do that. It'd be like being at a funeral all over again.
I'm kind of looking at you side eye right now
Why
because I just wanted to use that word.
you trying to use it effectively, are you?
Yeah, yes. No, I get it. I get it. I get it. A lot of people uh, can't do it. A lot of time I'm trying to master talking about it, going there, okay, hold up, let me pull them tears back. Sometimes I can do it and sometimes I don't. But I think for me, and this is something that I told her when she was here, that Mama, I will cry about you every day you're not here. I told her this. She knew this, and it has not failed. I look, my heart will yearn, and I'm prepared to know that I knew it, that if it would happen, that I would be there. And I'm at that space and place now. So I just have to live through it. Um, Nothing's ever going to completely satisfy me. The only thing that could satisfy me is if she had a rose on the third day and came back. Come on, somebody. No, no man, no amount of money, no amount of notoriety, fame, or fortune will ever, because anything that I obtain now that she's not here, I will always say, damn, I wish my mother had been here. I wish, you know what I'm saying? Now it goes to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just life. That's life. That's life. I just don't want to be sick like I am all this damn time. I'm at least can I enjoy a little bit of life?
Well, I guess that's where you have to focus on the beauty and the lessons learned and all the good that she poured into you.
My mama poured liquor in my baby bottle. So what the hell you mean all the good? She poured fucking vodka in my bottle. No, I'm joking.
Mm, mm, mm.
One thing my mama told me, she was a strong black woman. You know, her life story is a movie itself. Nobody would believe some of the stuff she's been through. Um, and I would have never told her story while she was alive. But I sure the hell want to tell her now that she's gone. And I thank God that she told me so much of her story. Because, you know, I sit back and say, you know what? I'm crying about her not being here, but it's so many times she could have not been here. And, you know, a time or two she died and came back. And so I thank God for that. I thank God. I just wish he had to gave it to me. You know, we always say a little bit longer, but a little bit longer still wouldn't have been enough. Still, hey, April was in the building. Hey. So, but
April,
then I think, yes, April was in the building, my second wife. So now I look at my cousin who just was in his 40s. I don't even know if he's 50 yet. I don't know, maybe 48, 49, somewhere in there. Um, but here he dies on a motorcycle accident. And that's where we had my mama's repast at his motorcycle club. We had the repast there. He gave my mama a surprise 70th birthday party at that place. And now he's no longer here. And you know, the last time I saw him do you remember my goddaughter I went live, they had a birthday party at the motorcycle club. And I
mm,
was talking to him. Yeah, I went to, remember, I did tell you I was going. Remember I told you I was going? And
was that when you had the colorful top on?
I think so.
Mm.
And yeah, so I went in there and I saw him and I gave him a hug and we laughed and talked. And I got a drink because he was behind the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking. And he had no idea that he was renting to my goddaughters and them, you know, the house he owned. They was his tenants. And it was so funny because he didn't know. And we were sitting and talking about that laughing. And I sat down and I had some drinks and laughed. And I don't even think I told him goodbye. I had just called, I think I did. I called me Uber and I said, hey, cuz, I'm going, I'm out, cuz. And that was it. That was the last time I saw him.
Mm.
But like I said, there was so many times that we all hung out at the bar or hung out somewhere, and they would get on their motorcycles. And I would always be scared for them because I knew how many drinks and stuff we had, you know? And I think this was his second accident in long period of time though. Um, I don't know exactly what happened. I'm not even saying he was drunk or anything, you know. But one of my other cousins just told me. I said, "Wait." I said, "What happened?" And it was like motorcycle head injuries, succumbed to the head injuries. So that's all I know so far. That's all I know. Wait, oh, somebody just called the nurse a bitch. But that makes me appreciate life just a little bit more. You know? Can you hear that?
Indeed.
If it ain't Tootie barking, it's somebody. You know what? So anyway, y'all, I have been in such a not a bad place, but an uncomfortable place. I mean, more than uncomfortable. But you would think I was on the crazy side, wouldn't you? How you doing, Dad? I mean, oops, that man just heard me call him Daddy.
Right.
So, did you and Great Ponytail miss me on here?
Yeah. TP or what's her name? Oh, PT. She was asking me about you. What had happened to him? I was like, girl, a lot. But yeah, yeah, we miss seeing your face in the place. It's not
I
normal.
I know that upward. I mean, not upward. I know that Miss Smith had always. I love me some Miss Smith. She knows. Linda says condolences. You see, but thank you, Linda. Um, I know Mika and Happy Wife Life was like, we miss seeing you. Tiffany, Cooper's Kitchen. Um, because you said it bothers you because you didn't see me do nothing on Facebook or YouTube. That bothered you.
Yeah, I was concerned. I was hoping you were all right. You know, but then you resurfaced, so I'm like, okay, it's all good.
Well, it was financial things. It was, I have not been able to work, which I thought I would be able to go back. So it almost was a depression as well.
That's understandable.
Huh?
I said that's understandable.
Yeah, to not to get up. First of all, not to walk the way you normally walk, but to lay down because y'all gotta realize there was days I couldn't get any sleep at all. I'd get an hour, half an hour sleep, and my legs started hurting me again. Then they weren't giving me anything that was helping me for my leg. So now I'm going to emergency every night, catching Ubers every night, just for them to send me home. And to get on the phone and not be able to have a conversation because you're in so much pain. And like right now, I'm in pain, but I know, what they giving me is not enough to knock all the pain out, but I'm not going to complain. It's better than me being at home, crying, hooping and hollering to myself. Uh, it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. I just want to know, Lord, when is this pain gonna go away? That's all I want to know, God. When will I won't need anything? When can I literally wash my whole foot? I tell you, whoever has to do my pedicure is gonna be looking at me like, remember that episode on Martin, y'all, where Shanae was doing that old woman's feet with the with the sandblast. They had to sandblast my feet, cut my toenail. I can't cut them. I can't walk. It hurts so bad. That's another thing. Not to be able to wash your foot. All you can do is just rub it real lightly. Mm. Now some of y'all feet looking like this, and ain't nothing wrong with your feet. Some of y'all feet out here looking like this, and ain't shit wrong with it. You walking on them every day. No, let me. Uh, April said, "Yep, you there? I'm work."
Yeah, I'm listening in. You know me, I'm snacking. I'm like, what's next snack?
You know what? You have been snacking a whole lot lately.
I
Let
know.
me let me ask you this. I was looking at this article. Let me ask you. I was looking at an article.
Hmm.
This man, lady got married. The lady bought her own wedding ring. Do you think is there any time that it is um, acceptable for a woman to buy her ring? I would think the man needs to just wait till he can afford it. I would wait. I would wait till I can afford. I would never ask my better half to buy their own ring. What are your takes on that?
I've seen some women do that, some, and mostly they're the younger, immature when I was working and stuff. They did. And I'm like, yeah, that's not really something you would want to tell people. I wouldn't. And it's not something I would ever me personally, not something that I would do. But, I guess I could see it more so when I can see it more so with like I said, I've seen the younger ones do it. That makes sense because they don't know any better and maybe haven't been taught. But for a grown woman, yeah, that's a bit much. I mean, it just I don't know. To me, it just seems like I don't know. I guess every situation it depends on the situation. There is not a one size fits all. But I mean, if the man, that's like the bare minimum that a man could do for you. It doesn't have to, unless you kind of the woman has some, outlandish taste in rings. But I mean, really, are you in it for the ring or are you in it for the love? I know me personally. No, I ain't buying my own wedding ring. If you can't buy me a ring at a bare minimum, then yeah, then we don't need to be together. That's not a lot's required. You can go get a $30 or a fake one off of Amazon just to say you got something to start with.
Exactly. How many women in here? How many of you women would actually? But wait, how many of you women would? Do you think that if the woman proposes,
Proposes what in the
yeah, there have been women that propose to their men.
oh
Chrissy
wow.
from Love and Hip Hop, she to Jim Jones, the rapper Jim Jones, his girlfriend proposed to
Hmm.
him, and they never got married. They still ain't married. They still together.
But hell, even if she did that, I mean, I don't really follow them, but I do remember hearing, seeing some of the stuff on the show, but I didn't really watch. But yeah, I guess they had been together forever and a day. And it's like, boo, kind of like my grandma told me years ago, why buy the cow when you can get the milk free? Why should he invest? If I was a man, I wouldn't invest in a woman. If she's making it easy for me, why bother?
You have Linda said, hell no. April
Right.
said, I've done seen it happen, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think any of the women in my family, I don't think none of them would have.
Oh,
They may have gave, they may have gave hints and like, look, nigga,
right. Now,
right? You need to do something.
hmm, yeah, it looks kind of thirsty. It's like, yeah. I mean, but I don't know. I just go back to what the words say about being equally yoked. You know, if you're not equally yoked, there is nothing but problems. And the major red flag, if you got to go buy your own damn ring, that's ridiculous.
Because it do say in the Bible, he that findeth the wife findeth a good thing.
Good, yes, a good thing.
Not she that findeth the husband.
Well,
Linda says that's desperate.
mm,
Um, we will. Well, listen, y'all. And I don't nobody think that this is punts against anybody else because what I won't do is do commentary and then people want to automatically put it that I'm talking about other people. That is like a lot of things with the marriage to the Africans, right? When I worked at a Mexican, I mean not Mexican, I worked at the restaurant, my mother and it was the white girls. All of them were marrying Africans, and it was a pay thing though. The Africans paid them, I think, 15,000, something like that, to marry them, and then they had to prove that they were married or whatever. And that was the only reason they were marrying them. And I had a big problem with that then because I was like, y'all don't know who y'all marrying to bring over here and what are their intentions. Um, but that was a big thing. Then I had a cousin who, because you have some women that are gullible or just lonely, and the African got her out of like $20,000.
mm, 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 mm.
I was like, oh my God. So that's why now, even when it came to Queen the Queen and her thing, and people looking at the story side eye, it wasn't. People, you grow, you can do what you want to do, but it would be asinine for people not to have look at it some type of way. And considering her story of what went on over there, and like I told her, I said, I pray, I'm worried, but I pray that it's not that. And that's exactly where I left it. But I look at any marriages like that, a little side eye, these, because a lot of them want to get over here so bad and they want um, citizenships. And it's not just them. It's, you have a lot of other people from other, it's just bigger known in the African nations.
Yeah, and you see some of them, the females come over here and get with the American men. A bit more studying them, those American men. They once they get what they need and they're after, they go
Mhm.
home kind. That's 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 all.
Yeah.
But all they need and make them a citizen regardless of whatever reason they came here. All they need to or needed, I'm sure things are changing now, but all they needed was an American baby, and boom, guess what? They get to stay because their baby is an American citizen. And I'm not for everything that's happening politically, but that's one change I do um I that I don't disagree with. I'll put it that way. I don't disagree with it at all. You still there? Yeah. But nope, I don't disagree with those changes that are happening. There's always some people come over here educated with a plan, and all they got to find is that person who fits the mold of supporting that plan. So, and ask me how I know firsthand. Not that that's my story per se, but I have family members who um married foreigners, and yeah, it's a lot with it. I mean, and like one of the things is their cultures are so different. I mean, you think about American, even American citizens. I've always been taught or told that, if you're going to marry somebody or you're considering it, get to know their family, see how their family dynamics are. But a foreigner, you can't do that. You just you know, take your shot and hope for the best. But you don't understand, you're at a major disadvantage if you don't understand their family dynamic and how things are done. I just think about like the Filipinos or Asians, I'll say that. Too late. But anywho, I've seen where they, even being military, you see some of their family members were more in the commissary, which is our grocery store. You see more of them in there than you do the GIs. I'm like, what the heck? I'm the one that served my country. Why is all of your cousins, and everybody else? It's like make it make sense. It doesn't. But I mean, it was part of the process, and they were able to do it and bring on. I'm surprised they didn't bring the dogs, the cats, the goats, and everything else that was attached to those people or to their family, the folks that got married. But I don't know. It's just it's frustrating, and that's why I like, and not to change the subject, but that's why I like when they say thank you for your service. I'm like, do you really mean that? Sometimes I want to throat punch people when they say that. It irritates me because they really don't mean it at all.
Well, I meant to when I said thank you for your service on your birthday.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, but it's just like when you're walking down the street. I'll break it down, break out the fat crayons on this one, and not just to talk down to you. I'm just being silly, but you walk down the street and you see somebody approach, and you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Or you ask them, "Hey, how you doing?" And they say, "Fine. How you doing?" And you might even slow down just so you can make eye contact and really connect. And they keep walking. They don't really care how you doing. They could care less. But I hate.
Now you're assuming that. You cannot say that because every time I say that, I really do. Now let me tell you this. When
But
you said, hold up, when you said to Michael in the bed next to me, let me buy you this, thank you for your service to our country. I believed you meant that. I believe I believe that. So I don't Linda says she cares. We all care. You can't. I don't know what make you feel like when people say that, they're just saying it just to say it. But when I see somebody in uniform and I say to them, thank you, I
Mhm.
mean that because I don't have to fight. I never would have had to fight. I'm the only boy.
No,
Um,
I get that. Don't maybe I should have clarified that because when I say that, let's look at the last section. Um, it's like, okay, people, do you all realize I understand you standing for one team over the other, but when you really, if you say you care and you care about veterans or you care about your own, meaning those that are even in uniform, if you took the time to read the plan that was laid out to the letter, not partially, not coded, it was to the letter what the plan was, and you still vote against it, how can you say thank you for your service when you done, screwed me?
okay, but wait. That is what you call beating too much into it. Maybe the people didn't even vote at all. Take it for what it is. No, listen.
But
That's not
the thing,
diminished when someone. But let me
the,
tell you that you
the
done went from you.
mm-mm,
So wait. You don't know if the person voted or not. See, listen. This is what
no vote
I
is the same as
but what I'm trying to tell you that how the hell are we gonna go from me saying, thank you for your services, and then now you don't believe me because now you want to know if I voted for this and I voted for that. Sometimes you got to take it for what it is. People can genuinely mean that. Everybody's not going to read everything to the T to the letter, but I'm not one. If I was in uniform, I'm not going to say, "Wait, hold up. Let me see if you really mean that. Did you do so and so?" That is it. If you tell somebody I like your uniform, well, why do you like it? How about to take what the hell I just damn said?
Look, I get it. Yeah, I made a generalization. And what I was attempting to do is to be more specific. And I think that example, your vote tells the story. Your lack of vote tells the story. So when you say thank you for your
But
service,
it does not tell
bring
anybody. First of all, we're gonna get half these people to the polls. But let's
okay.
start off by let's start off by first saying, hey, thank you for appreciating me. I believe you genuinely said that with your heart. Because if somebody hear this now and by you saying that, most people say, well shit, I ain't gonna say a motherfucking thing
They
then.
well not. I don't care if they do or don't, especially if it's insincere. And I will tell you, I can't speak for no other veteran. I'm speaking for myself. And I will tell you, yeah, that was very generalized. Forget what the word is. I can't even think of it right now because I'm passionate.
Let's just say, what if the person is 17 and they say that?
Okay, I mean they're 17 years old. That's
But
a child.
I think this is what really is, and I have to agree with other people.
That's
Uh,
we can agree to. I don't.
I think it shocked me that how did you go from someone giving you a compliment to making it political? And
I don't.
now you're looking for it because you're in it. But when people say, thank you for, hey, how you doing? When somebody says, thank you for, when someone says, thank you for your service, they can genuinely mean that. And that kind of takes away when someone said, well, if you really care, then you would have voted for so and so. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about when you say what was voting for. It's way
How do you
to
know?
bring attention, but it's way to bring attention to that because by you just going right there, hey, how you doing? The way you did that, it just took away from the whole thing of somebody saying thank you for what you did.
Okay,
Thank you for what you did.
and I hear what, but still still
Well, I don't give a damn what you did for this country. How about that? No,
and honestly, I mean, yeah, it's a nice thing to say, no more than hello or bless you if somebody sneezes. It's the polite thing to say. But really, really understanding the gravity that, when we raise our hands and take the oath or whatever, it's more
right.
on the uniform. I mean, do you really? I've heard some nasty things, comments made about it. But and then it's coming from some of the very same people that say thank you for your service. So how can it be both? And what I don't understand is, like you're saying, well, I don't get how you go from here to there. Okay, well, when we go to the polls and we vote, whether it's for our own personal reasons or for the collective, if you're voting against your own rights or the rights of others, how can you really say you care?
But how did we even get there?
Because
When
it's
but listen, do that in a political forum. Don't do that as somebody walking down the street or somebody saying happy birthday to you. Um, Thank you for your service, service woman. Because listen, you said that to Michael and you don't even know if he voted.
to Michael.
The guy that was in the Navy. And you told him thank you for your service.
Oh yeah, I mean, now we're talking one to another. It's just like when folks say, hey, and
What makes sure it's even more important than mine?
okay, see this debate I'm not going to, because it's for real, for true. Love you, but yeah, I
I'm saying you took that out of that by making it political. That I think that you still can make that political
can't.
argument, but not when you when for you to say, you know what? But I hate when people say that because that don't it falls on deaf ear. You don't know if I voted for it or not. You don't know who said it, whether they voted for it or not.
Is your
So
mother being in church? right? Preaching a sermon. He gonna preach on what's happening in life. Unless and until you convicted by what's said, it's just another sermon.
Okay, y'all. Well, y'all saw that, but well, for anybody that cannot vote, that's literally underage. I don't think she means that towards you guys.
No,
Um, I don't think, but I will continue to tell all people that has served for our country. You know what? Thank you for your good work. Whether they want to, if it fall on deaf ears or not, I believe that in my heart. Whether I vote or not, I mean it. And that's just my stance on it, but we can agree to disagree.
right. And I love you, but I believe it or not, it is and maybe it's a good thing I did mention it, because it's more common. What I've expressed is more common than not common. Yeah, you go through it and you can feel, just like when somebody calls you and say, I care about you, you know, the ones that really give a fuck about you and the ones that don't. I mean, come on, it's not about break it down. Let me run this questionnaire.
That is two different things. That's two different things. I can care about somebody that I know. Like I didn't know the people that fought to free slavery, but I still look back and thank them for that because I would be still a slave if they had not fought. There's a difference between dealing with a motherfucker just on a regular basis. But now, if I look to you and say, for y'all that went over there and fought in Desert Storm, which I knew I wasn't going to do it. So for me to say thank you for that.
Let me put it to you this way. Like, I'm sure this he would clearly get it, unless and until you wore a uniform and you've made that sacrifice. And it's no slight against you, but this is just, I'm shooting straight from the hip and keeping it real 100. Unless and until you put on that uniform, you take that oath, and then you abide by the orders of the officers appointed over you, and you have to make a sacrifice. Unless and until that happens, it's like I'm talking, comparing apples to oranges. I cannot even get to what that feels like. So people, thank you for your service. They have no idea what happens.
Well, I will agree with Linda on this. I will continue to say it and allow them to get in front of me. I don't think that a service person brought that up. I will say this. I've been saying it, even when they would draft, when they had the draft back when you had to sign up for the draft, and they said to me, oh, well, you won't have to go because not only they'll take the youngest son before they take the only son. So I already knew that I would not have to be a person that would have to go. So I am truly, truly thankful. I don't have to put on that uniform to know what I feel. I don't give a damn if I never put on it. I can put the uniform on and still would feel as grateful as I am because I know it's something that I would never ever do myself. I would go to jail first. I would be like Muhammad Ali. You kick me out of boxing. That is not something I can do. And I commend the men and women that are strong enough mentally that can go ahead, first of all, that sign up on their own, much less back in the days, the ones that were drafted.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that for me, for someone, especially an Army person or a Navy person or any person in the service, to say you can't say that or you're not going to understand it unless you put on a uniform. No, that is false. We can't. It makes me understand it even more because you're doing something that I'm saying to you. I appreciate you because you're doing something that I could never do. I'm admitting to you, I'm scared. I'm admitting to you that I'm a coward. I'm a coward when it comes to that. So me admitting to you that I'm a coward, of course I am going to appreciate because we need somebody to do it. And I'm not one of those somebody. So I think that proves even more how appreciative, because if we didn't have people doing that, then they would start making people like me go.
But do I mean do personally see that you don't. I'm not saying that. I'm saying again, sympathy is
Wait, wait, listen to this. Linda says, we are not talking about what you feel like it's about. What you feel like it's about the appreciation of what the service person did.
okay.
We appreciate that.
I
And
get that. I not
but you took that from one you took but do
hold
you
on.
know that okay, go ahead.
The is when I say that it was a generalization, I'll say the vast majority or a great number. I'll put it that way since we're gonna be specific. A
Hey,
great
talk, go ahead, talk. I gotta use the bathroom.
okay, a great majority of the people really do not care. They don't. I mean, if that's the case, then why do we have so many homeless veterans out there? But thank you for your service. The greatest show of support and um showing the love for the commitment that those people have made. Why are they still homeless? Help make it make sense. Help me to understand. Because when I first came to or came up to Maryland to DC, went there, I'm expecting one thing. And I mean, all of the people, majority of the people hanging out on the streets, homeless, were veterans with flags everywhere, service veterans. And then you go to the stoplights, they're standing there begging for dollars, coins. I mean, it's like, how can make this make sense? I cannot begin to wrap my mind around it. Am I saying that all people that say thank you for your service? No, absolutely not. I'm wise enough to know better than that. But when you look at some of the things that have happened, even just experiences, they'll say thank you for your service. But then you go for customer service, and some of the people that you have to encounter are the nastiest people you ever have to deal with. But thank you for your service. This the thanks I get. You know, I mean, I can give you so many examples. It's just countless, and yeah, it's one of those things that unless and until you put on a uniform and you experience it yourself. It's just what I feel like right now is being a Black person talking to a white group of people trying to get them to understand my plight as a Black woman. They're never going to understand. Sure, there's some people that care, but overall, you show me better than you tell me. Show me. And if y'all can't understand that, I respect it. But I just ask you to you know take into take into consideration some of what I said. You don't have to agree with it, and that's okay. That's what makes us individuals. But again, unless and until you put on that uniform, you have no idea. And on that, I'm gonna go.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Did she drop down? I told her, hold on. Until I, okay. Well, okay, let me get this. I'm glad I was listening. Did she say on that she's going to drop down? I wonder why. Oh, come on. Oh, come the hell on. Let me get this. All right. Y'all hold on 1 minute. Let me handle this and I'll finish it. Hold on 1 minute, y'all. Let me put on the music. Well, I'll come back and I'll address that, okay? I'm glad I listened. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm back. All right. So, first of all, let me say this. I want to thank each and every person that has fought in the service, no matter what they did, whether they pump gas, fix their planes, fought fires. Um, I hope Upward is all right because I heard her say, with that being said, I'm going to drop down just so abruptly when I said that I was going to use the bathroom. But everyone has a right to their opinions. Um, I have a couple of cousins that have fought, and I'm going to get their opinion on what they think about it because everybody has different opinions. I just never heard someone come from a political standpoint. I think the climate. No, you didn't ask for this. No. I think the political climate that everybody's in, I think there's more of saying, hey, I want you to appreciate us more. My thing is this: instead of voting for what the service people needed, I would have rather people voted the right way when it came to who the fuck is in the damn office, and that means Donald Trump. That was more of I would rather, and I have to be honest, I would rather for them to have paid more attention on who we let into that office than everything else, because everything else will fall by the wayside. And I don't want you Upward to once think that we were negating what you were saying, but you have to seem like that was a slap in the face. Well, you were generalizing it, but to say, when people say that, you don't take it for a grain of salt. And that's why I said, I'll say that to you on your birthday. So, and I meant it. I meant it. Whether I voted or not, I meant it. But you have some people that, it's like when you take a compliment, and instead of just taking the compliment, we got to turn it into something else. Um, my compliment is what it is. I mean my compliment. And I don't have to defend it. I don't have to, like if you get somebody a compliment, okay, you gave me that compliment. So now did you do A, B, D, and C? A, B, C, and D for the compliment. You're like, wait a minute. I just said the compliment now. I ain't finna explain, it takes if you tell somebody I love you and then they say, well, why do you love me? Some of them went to drugs and the government closed the hospitals. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Some of them, that's why a lot of that when we say to them, thank you for your services. Me as a gay black man, Michael Waters? Yes. Hold on, y'all. I'm at the end of this live, y'all. I'm gonna come back on because they moving me. And I'm gonna come back on. We're gonna dive deeper into this. Y'all stay up. Because this is very interesting. And I like it. All right, y'all. I'll be back on shortly once I get up to my room.